All right, so let's do some election results, shall we? It looks like Paula Jean Swearingen lost, which sucks. What else can you say about that? And as of the recording of this, Rich Cordray is predicted to win in Ohio. Which means he'll beat Dennis Kucinich. So, as of right now, it looks like we got two pretty big losses. Paula Jean was trying to pick off Joe Manchin. And, of course, Dennis Kucinich was trying to get the nod for governor of Ohio. Now, any Democrat, whether it's the corporate Democrat, Cordray, or Dennis Kucinich, would have a long uphill climb against the Republican. That is true. But now that we don't have Dennis Kucinich, Ohio is essentially choosing between two Republicans. And Paula Jean lost to Joe Manchin. And it's... And this is why I'm kind of sour to the whole process. I mean, these establishment candidates, they really offer nothing. Yet because of just placement and money and power and smears and resources, they're still winning. Paula Jean offered so much to West Virginia. She understood their needs. She understood what was at stake. Joe Manchin never saw a Republican policy he didn't like. Is a disaster for environmental issues. Has done nothing for West Virginia. And yet he still won. Cordray is an absolute disaster at everything he's ever touched. I mean, the guy with the finance board, he screwed that up. Yet somehow it looks like he's on par to beat Dennis Kucinich. One of the greatest progressives we have, Dennis Kucinich. And I don't... How do you not come to the conclusion that the first goal of the DCCC and the DNC is to make sure the corporate-friendly incumbent stays in power? That's what they do. I mean, that's why they're there. And this is why I'm so tired towards the idea of them entering. And even though there's some people doing it that I support as individuals, that I'd be happy to vote for as individuals, and I understand the rationale behind it, but I feel like there's got to be a better way. And I feel like this is another example of that. If we had a viable third party, whether it's a completely new party or whether it's green entering, I'm at the point where whatever's going to work, I'm for. But situations like this, I think the big lesson here is how broken the Democratic establishment really is and how they really are fighting actively against progressive candidates. Cordray smeared the hell out of Dennis Kucinich, and I guess it worked a little bit. And the establishment put all of their money behind Joe Manchin, and it worked. They bought their way in. Because that progressive movement can only take you so far if you don't just have a viable candidate whose messaging can get to the general populace. And the Democratic establishment has it set up to kind of fight that. You have to spend all your resources beating them. Instead of going straight to people, many of whom are sick of the status quo and sick of business as usual and are thirsty for an option that doesn't have an R or a D next to it. So, the way I see it is that the biggest lesson to take away from tonight's results is it's time to ditch the Democrats and take our chances as independents, take our chances with a new viable party, take our chances on green entering. I don't exactly know what the clearest glass is. I do know we need to kind of stick to one thing and really make it work. Because we can't just spread all of our eggs all around. Our movement's only so big. That's the reality. Our movement is only so big. This is coming from the guy who's streaming to 61 people at the moment. Believe me, I know. Our movement is only so big. This is coming from the guy who has goofy eyebrows because he's still figuring out the best way to set up his lighting. We're only so big. And that's why we have discussions on this show. And I know some of you, your minds are made up. Some of you are like, green entering's the way to go. We know it's the way to go. Some of you are like, no, third party, a new party's the way to go. Movement for a People's Party's the way to go. I like a lot of people involved with both those movements. And how we all come together, I'm not sure what form it's going to take. I don't know yet. I don't think any of us know yet. But something's got to give, and I don't think staying the course in the Democratic Party is the way to go, because it's you know, and I had this conversation after the meeting today with both Joe and Pasta. What's worse, starting a new infrastructure or trying to enter an infrastructure that's set up against you? It's like, hey, do you want to walk into this burning house, or do you want to just build a new house? Let's walk into the burning one. At least it's a house. Yeah, but it's freaking burning, and it's supposed to burn you. That's what it's going to do. Well, what if we compromise with it? What if we... Or we can, like, we can have less super delegates. What if we only have a couple flames instead of, like, the whole house on fire? What if only 3 rooms on the house are on fire instead of the whole house? What if we do that? We can do that. And you know what? I think we really got to start at the bottom too. You know, I want to build a new house. I want to start a new movement. I want to abandon the Democratic Party because I think it's beyond repair. And I don't think it's interested in being repaired. They like the way it's set up. And we really got to start as small as it gets. I'm trying to get people to run. I'm trying to get somebody in Pasadena to run for city council, because I really feel like it seems like we got someone on city council that's behind us. There was another city council member that wasn't at the meeting today, but was also was at the first meeting that pushed for it to be on a municipal agenda in the first place. So I think that's 2 members we got right there. So if we get another one in, that's 3 members. That's 3 members we got. So why aren't more progressives running for city council? That's who I want to have. I want to talk to people that are running for city council in their community, that are running for school board, that are running. And I know that those are small pickets, but that's how you build it from the ground up. And I know that's the case some people make for dem entering. They're like, well, you got to start at the very... Yeah, but the system's set up to squash you. The system's set up to give you a little bit of crumbs here and there, but then squash you. So no, that's apples and oranges. So that's the lesson I'm taking away from today in general. And, you know, again, I come at you with some good news and some bad news. The bad news, of course, the election results. The good news, our meeting today went better than I expected. Hey guys, thanks for watching. That was a clip from Get Your News On with Ron, the world's first viewer-curated streaming news show. What does that mean? That means I log on to a stream and people tweet me articles over on Twitter at Ron Placone, or they use our Reddit subsection, which is just Get Your News On with Ron over on Reddit. And that's how we build the show. I'm seeing all these articles for the first time. We are literally getting our news on together. Follow me on Twitter at Ron Placone so you can participate. And this show streams live every Tuesday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, so please do tune in. If you want to support this show, you can do so over on patreon.com/Ron Placone, where for as low as $1 a month, you get access to exclusive podcasts every week, exclusive videos, free tickets to shows when I'm performing in your town, and more for as low as $1 a month. Please do consider it. Thank you so much for your support. This has been Get Your News On with Ron.